This ain't no game round here, it's more like religion. We built this thing right here, a football tradition. So everybody get up, feast your eyes on the highlight of small town life. It's Friday night.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week. It's week number 2. We're back down here in Port Sulphur for a game tonight between the Battle of the South, I guess you call it. South Lafourche Tarpons come into town to face our own South Plaquemines Hurricanes. Joining me as always, the coach, Amos Cormier, and I'm Jason Tonglick. And coach, South Plaquemines fell to Belle Chase last week. Another tough challenge for them as this big 5A South Lafourche team comes in. What can we expect to see from the Hurricanes as they battle this Tarpon team tonight?
Jason, it's amazing how history repeats itself. You know, taking you in another walk down memory lane, South Lafourche basically is made up of Roller Rose Cutoff. And they used to play against Buras, Port Sulphur, and Belle Chase going back in the day in the 50s. So, you know, history is going to repeat itself tonight. South Plaquemines certainly has their work cut out for them, going up against a 5A program here like South Lafourche. Last week, South Lafourche lost to Walker Landry, 7-0 in a defensive struggle. So let's see if the Hurricanes can put some points on the board and overcome the Tarpons.
Hopefully they can keep the Tarpons shut out on the season as we get into this game. Geographically, these are two schools that are pretty close together. There's just a big Barataria Bay in the middle. We're going to have all the action for you on your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week coming up after this break. And welcome back to the Plaquemines Parish Game of the Week. Hurricanes are going to get the ball first here as South Lafourche has the ball teed up. And, Coach, unfortunately, we don't have a roster from South Lafourche yet. Supposedly it's on its way, but we'll do the best we can until now. But, I mean, most of the people that are watching this are in Plaquemines Parish anyway, so.
Right, Jason. It's warm temperatures here. There is no wind whatsoever. The flag is very limp. And South Lafourche brought a decent crowd, not a packed crowd. And we're getting ready for the kickoff from the 40-yard line as the Hurricanes line up just inside their 50.
Looks like Jace Williams deep to return this one for the Hurricanes. Just awaiting on the officials, ready for play. And not everybody in place yet. Now, you mentioned it. It kind of felt a little less humid when we first got down here tonight. It's 86 degrees. According to AccuWeather right now, feel like temperature of 95. If we could get a little breeze, it'd be a little nicer up here in the press box. But, hey, we'll take what we can get.
Well, a deep man for the Hurricanes, Jason Williams, number 3. Maybe he can get a little Hurricane going if he gets a good return here.
And it's an onside kick that's recovered by South Lafourche. They're going to have the ball at the Hurricane 45-yard line, and amazingly, no reaction from the front line of South Plaquemines as they just didn't seem to be ready for that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had their head on a swivel, and they were looking back for the return man's path. And as a result, the Tarpons from South Lafourche snagged the onside kick. South Lafourche opens up in a pistol formation. And a lot of people that have been in the spread seem to be going toward this formation now because they get a better angle with the single back behind the quarterback as far as downhill running is concerned, as opposed to placing the back on the side where he has to move laterally before moving forward unless it's a straight dive play.
Absolutely. Spread the field, like you said, 4 wide receivers. Quarterback appears to wear number 46, not something you're used to seeing, but hopefully we'll get a name to go with that number at some point tonight. Now resets the back and puts him on his side. Calls for the football. He's going to hand it off. Back's going to be taken down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And 78, new number but same result. Sean Wilson on the stop there for the Hurricanes. So this will bring up second down and maybe even 11, maybe a short loss on the play.
And for the Tarpons to be successful in any type of running attack, Big Sean Wilson is a man that they have to account for, or else it will be a long night for the Tarpon offense.
Second down. Receivers come in. Man goes in motion across the formation. Quarterback takes the snap, drops back, under some duress, scrambles away. Now he's going to throw, has a receiver, and it's off the fingertips and incomplete. Good coverage there by Trevone Ragus on the play. And this is going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Hurricanes went press coverage that time. I mean, they had everybody walked up within a couple of yards from the line of scrimmage, and they forced the Tarpon quarterback out of the pocket with an errant pass.
So 3rd and 10, and credit the Hurricane defense there as they got pressure without bringing a whole lot of guys. Just a 4-man front. 3rd and long. Quarterback barks some signals, now checks down to the sideline. Looks like we're ready to go now. Calls for the football. He's going to run an option, and he's going to run out of space. Scrambles forward, but he's going to be hit and taken down. So 3 plays and nowhere to go for this Tarpon offense. 4th down, and Coach Skanes with a decision to make, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and punt it away.
And Jason, right off the bat, I have to say my first impression on 3rd and long and with South Lafourche running an option play sort of gives you the idea that they don't have a lot of confidence in their passing game.
Here's the punt, and it's going to be take a Hurricane bounce, roll sideways, and it's going to fall at about the 14-yard line. So no harm, no foul for that onside kick. Really the only downfall to that is that the Hurricanes will be starting a little deeper in their territory.
Yeah, the first series really bodes well for the Hurricanes because they really look like they control the line of scrimmage and great pass rush and also good coverage in the secondary.
Looks like Brandon Sherman will start this game at quarterback for the Hurricanes. He's in the huddle. I know we saw a little bit of Kendrick Smith last week as well, and we got to say thank you to the South Lafourche staff and our buddy Neil from downstairs. He just finally brought us the roster for South Lafourche, so we'll give you a couple of those names as needed. But for now, it's 1st and 10. Hurricanes send a man in motion. There's motion all over the place, and I think they're going to get 5 free yards, as it looked like almost everybody on that South Lafourche defense jumped off sides. If contact was made, it's an encroachment penalty, and that's what we have. So 1st and 5 now for the South Plaquemines offense. And we talked about kind of starting in a hole. Now you're almost out to the 20-yard line, and you got a short yardage to go to get another 1st down. So good place to be if you're South Plaquemines.
Yeah, what it amounts to is a free down.
Sherman sends a man in motion, bobbles the snap, knocks it around. It's on the ground. It's going to be picked up and actually gaining a few yards on the far side. See if we can get a number. And I believe the aforementioned Sean Wilson back there in kind of an H-back position.
Well, everything seems to be falling in place for the Hurricanes. I mean, that was a fortuitous fumble that gained yardage for the Canes there. And so it brings up a second and maybe
two. Yeah, so Sean Wilson heads up there. Rojas split out wide to the near side of the field, which is the wide side. A couple backs in there. Flags are going to fly. And this time it's going to go against South Plaquemines, so we'll negate that initial penalty with one here. So this is going to bring up a 2nd down and about 7 yards to go for the Hurricanes. Clock stopped, 9:47 in the 1st quarter, no score, as this is the initial offensive series for South Plaquemines.
Well, the Canes look good in their light blue pants and light blue helmets with the dark jerseys.
Hand it off up the middle we go. Maybe a short gain on the play of about a yard. I believe that was Jace Williams on the carry, number 3.
Yeah, it looks like you described that as Carolina blue.
Carolina blue. That's when you look in their media guides and such like that. That's what they would call it, Carolina blue.
And, of course, South Lafourche in their blue and white.
Kind of the
Tarpon
more
outfits.
traditional royal blue there for South Lafourche. And it looks like Coach Figueroa, not liking what he's seeing here, is going to take a timeout in the early goings. 9:02 on the clock, so we'll step away for a minute and come back with more. Your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week after this. Welcome back to the Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week as South Plaquemines again facing a third down, about 5 yards to go. Sherman calls for the football, drops back, looks around, throws the pass, and it's going to be intercepted. And coming back the other way, taken down at about the 20-yard line, that's number 35, Danos Ashton, probably Ashton Danos. That looks like it's backwards on that roster. But we'll spot him at the 19-yard line, and the Tarpon offense is in business once again. As Sherman felt the pressure there, had to get it away, and just overthrew Jace Williams by a fraction, but it was just enough for the defender to make the play.
And it appears that Sherman took a hit in the ribs that time as he gingerly got off the field of play.
So first down, Dominic Felinich, the quarterback for South Lafourche, number 46 in the backfield, calls for the football, rolls to his left, throws a pass. Open receiver in the end zone is Harvey Allen, but it's incomplete as he overthrows him. This will bring up 2nd and 10. And a big test here for that South Plaquemines defense. If they can stiffen, keep South Lafourche out of the end zone one more time, that'll be a huge kind of momentum swing in the early going.
Yeah, the receiver was wide open that time, and he just didn't put enough air under the ball. So hopefully the Canes can make an adjustment.
Man in motion, Felinich drops back. They're trying the same play, and this time the receiver didn't break his route and turn. Probably Jace Williams, the best one with a chance at that ball. It falls incomplete again, and it's 3rd down, 10 yards to go. And maybe if I'm Coach Figueroa, I'll just go stand somebody in that corner of the end zone and wait, because if they like this play so much, they might go to it again.
It looks like, Jason, that the Tarpons are a team that can't find their identity. I mean, they run an option on 3rd and long, and then they open up in field position with 2 straight passes.
Man in motion, resets to the near side. Felinich takes the football, hand it off. Mass confusion in the backfield, and a big play is, looks like Sean Wilson one more time laying the lumber in the defensive backfield, or I say in the offensive backfield, loss of 1. And one more time, Coach Gaines with a decision here, as they haven't gained a single yard on a play yet. And they're going to be looking at a 4th and long. Again, you're not sure what kind of kicking game some of these players have, these teams have. Mass substitutions here. We'll see what they try to do.
It looks like a field goal is going to be in order.
The snap, placement, the kick is up, and it is no good. As he hits the right upright. He had the distance, and he had it almost on line. 6 inches to the left, and that's 3-0 game. Instead, it's a turnover on downs, and South Plaquemines holds. And, hey, they gain a couple yards of field position here as they'll be starting this drive from the 20-yard line. And it looks like we're going to have an official's timeout to discuss some things here. 7:49 still on the clock in the first quarter, and we've seen a whole lot of defense, if you want to call it that. Really, nobody able to gain an offensive edge yet. So for South Plaquemines, a perfect opportunity here on their second drive to get some things going here and maybe put a drive together. Even if they don't score, they can at least maybe flip the field here, because it seems like most of the play has been down at this end.
Yeah, this could very well be a game decided on errors, wrong miscues, because neither offense has been efficient thus far.
So again, like we said, no wind to speak of tonight. A beautiful night, not a cloud in the sky. I think the referees are about ready to go as they're blowing the whistles. That's what we call the hydration timeouts. Is like we said, it's a little humid tonight. The heat index at 95 still, even though the sun's starting to drop. Hopefully the temperatures will follow suit. Hurricane offense comes back onto the field, and it looks like Sherman's still in there at quarterback. As you said, he kind of took a shot in the chest on the last drive.
Judging from the replays of last week, with the Canes versus the Cardinals. Looks like South Lafourche's game plan is to try and put pressure on the quarterback.
Hand it off. This is Wade Bartholomew with a big hole. Breaks some tackles. He's going to be taken down from behind, and a flag should come in, and it does, as that was the horse collar tackle. So immediately flipping the field, gain of 24 for Bartholomew, and he's going to get 15 added on to that for the horse collar tackle. And looks like Wade a little slow to get up.
And that's bad news because Wallopin Wade is one heck of a ball player. He had a great game last week, and it doesn't look to be a good report the way he's on the ground with his leg bent.
So the official makes the call, the horse collar tackle. So we're going to tack on 15 yards to the end of this, and while they tend to Wade Bartholomew, we'll step away and come back with more. Your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week right after this. And welcome back to the Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week. Following the 15-yard penalty, we're in Tarpon territory at the 42. Sherman in at quarterback, now has Trevone Ragus behind him in the formation, 4 receivers. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it to Ragus, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 3 on the play, as he didn't fool anybody, and it looked like Justin Berry in there to make the stop for the Tarpons.
Tarpons have been really blitzing those linebackers very often here in the first quarter.
So this is going to bring up second down and officially 13 for the Hurricanes. Jace Williams split out wide to the near side as Kendrick Smith, who's wearing 13 this week, with him. And we're going to have a flag, and that's going to be a false start, as it looked like the center stood up early there. So making it a little more difficult for this Hurricane offense. They're going to back them up 5 yards.
Well, last week, Sherman's favorite receivers were number 3, Jason Williams, and, of course, Rojas from down in Boothville, Venice area. And he had some outstanding catches. That's Corey Rojas.
Number 12, he's going to be split out wide to the far side, the short side of the field here. South Lafourche puts a lot of guys right up at the line of scrimmage. Sherman's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be taken down again in the backfield. Loss on the play. This is going to bring up third down and quite a ways to go. Looks like third and about 21.
A lot of pressure coming from that Tarpon defense. Could very well be a defensive struggle here, just like last week with Landry Walker and South Lafourche.
Sure looks like it. Again, South Lafourche, yet to score this season. They got shut out last week. We're about 7 or 6.5 minutes into the first quarter of this one, and they've been deep in Hurricane territory but have done nothing yet. Play clock winding down. Sherman drops back under pressure. He throws it, has a man deep, but it's just over the hands of Kendrick Smith and incomplete. A well-designed play as Kendrick had gotten behind the defense of the Tarpons, just missed the target there from Sherman, and that's going to bring up fourth down. And the way this game has gone so far, this is a punting situation. It looks like Corey Rojas going to go back to kick it away.
And the kicking game was one of the things that the Canes had to work on from last week. And it looks like the Tarpons may be coming after them.
Might be one man short. Sean Wilson in the up back position, directing traffic. Again, Rojas set to punt it away. High snap, gets the kick off, and he's run into. This is probably going to be Hurricane football, as the kick is then muffed. At the other end, it's picked up and taken down way back. Number 35 down, and he might actually got kicked on the play as he ran into Corey Rojas.
Yeah, terrible angle by the South Lafourche player. You should always go at an angle to the ball, and he just went right into the kicking foot.
So wait and see if it's just a running into the kicker. So that would not be a first down. So I think Coach Figueroa would go ahead and decline the penalty and put South Lafourche deep in territory. They're going to get a captain to come discuss this with the official. He didn't make a personal foul indication. He only said, you know, the running into the kicker. So we will wait and see as, again, they continue to work on the injured South Lafourche player. That would be Ashton Danos, number 35. Penalty is going to be declined, so South Lafourche is going to start this drive from their 15-yard line. And we'll wait and see. It looks like they've got the injured player up, and he's going to be coming off the field here shortly. And we'll be set to go. It's 5-11 in the first quarter. No score. And, Coach, like we talked about, maybe the biggest thing that happened there for South Plaquemines, they were able to kind of flip field position there and bury South Lafourche deep in territory for the first time tonight.
And, Jason, I don't know if I agree with that call. I mean, that, you know, that sends a signal that you can run into the punter, and it makes it dangerous for the punter. I mean, that kid hit him full force with his leg.
Yeah, usually a running into penalty is kind of an incidental contact, but he was trying to block the kick, obviously, and just kept running. He didn't make any effort to get out of the way. To me, that is more the 15-yard variety, and I think South Plaquemines should still have the ball. For the second week in a row, we actually have Greater New Orleans Association officials down here. Again, something we weren't used to last year, but kind of nice to see the New Orleans team down here working the games.
Well, hopefully the Canes can keep the Tarpons bottled up in their territory, because they certainly have not been able to move the ball. They've had two real good possessions in Cane territory, and they've come away with nothing.
Quarterback Felinich calls for the football. He's going to hand it off. Oh, he's going to keep it himself on an option. Gets to the outside, and he's going to be taken down right there. Big play there by the Canes defense.
The Canes appear they have the advantage in the quickness area, as the Tarpon backs have not been able to get out of the grasp and gain much yardage.
I believe that was Deontay James, number 33, on the stop for the Hurricanes. On second down, quarterback drops back. He's looking around, trying to find somewhere to go with the football. Great coverage. He's going to run with it now, but he's going to be taken down again. Look, seemingly right behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a yard on the play. And this is going to bring up another third and long. Looks like third and about 8 to go.
Jason, it looked like the defensive secondary for the Hurricanes had Velcro on the receivers. I mean, they were sticking to them like glue.
So a handoff here right up the middle on third down. Running back manages to stay on his feet, and he's got the first, as they're just going to convoy him through people. And this is going to be a first down, as that was the carry by number 80, Eric Vega.
And that's the first time, Jason, that they've run behind their big offensive lineman on the left tackle side. And you can look for them to come back to that play again.
Number 79, that's Bailey Grenier, big-time recruit. Felinich escapes some pressure. Now he looks deep, and he incomplete as he got the pass to his receiver. Harvey Allen seems like the only receiver he knows on the field. Ball kind of hung up there, and luckily for South Plaquemines, it falls incomplete. So second and long, 2nd and 10 to go for the Tarpons as they play from their 30-yard line.
Yeah, when you're playing man-to-man, it makes it very tough on the secondary, because the guy was looking at the receiver and he wasn't looking at the ball. And, of course, the receiver has the advantage of stopping, and the defensive back runs right past him.
So, again, spread the field. 4 wide receivers, 1 back in the formation. Felinich calls for the football. He's going to run an option, but it was well diagnosed. South Plaquemines makes the stop now right at the line of scrimmage. So, kind of fortunate for South Lafourche that they were able to scramble back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe gains a few feet, maybe 1 yard. This will bring up third and a long 9 for the Tarpons. Trying to go quickly. And Felinic falls on the football as it comes out of his hands. And probably he could have maintained control of the ball and stayed on his feet. He might have had a little ways to run. Instead, it's going to be 4th down, and it looks like another punting situation. So we've played almost 10 minutes in a game, and that's only the first down we've seen from this Tarpon offense. It's kind of an odd formation here as he's going to sprint out and then punt, but it goes off the side of his foot, and this is going to go out of bounds, probably at about the 45-yard line. And that's where they're going to mark it. So South Plaquemines will start in Tarpon territory right at the South Lafourche 45. 2:33 on the clock, still no score. And again, really the first team to mount any kind of offense is going to have a huge advantage in this game.
Yeah, Jason, and going back to the punting situation, running laterally like the colleges do, I mean, in high school, it's very difficult to achieve that
It's fine
advantage.
if you've got the guy that can do it, but a lot of these teams do not, and they try that play, you know, hoping to find an opening that they can maybe run for the first down, but then not only do you not get the first, you may have well just tried to run for the first because you only gained about 15 yards of field position on that punt.
Yeah, you can only do what you can do. You can't copy other teams.
Man in motion, they're going to hand it off, and that's Travone Ragus. He's going to be swarmed over. Loss of about 3 on the play. And, Coach, it looks like if the Hurricanes are going to get something done, they're going to probably have to do it through the air, as South Lafourche is going to stack that line of scrimmage and take away any running threat that the Hurricane offense may have.
I agree with you, and I would say that probably South Lafourche's only way to score will be through the air also.
Seems like South Lafourche's only way to score might be a defensive touchdown. So again, 4 wide receivers, actually 5 wide receivers now. Sherman all alone in the backfield, calls for the football, drops back under pressure, has time, throws it, and it's going to be, there's a flag as they tried to get it to Jace Williams, but he got held. And maybe to Williams' detriment, had he continued to go for that ball, he might have had a shot at it. And I think Coach Figueroa is going to give him an earful that he should have not quit on the play once he got grabbed.
Well, this Tarpon defense is really working Sherman over. I mean, they're hitting him on every play. Hopefully we'll get a penalty by hitting the quarterback late because they have made contact every time that he has dropped back to deliver a pass. That time they went to a 3-man front, but they rushed 6 people.
Now, traditionally, defensive holding is an automatic first down. But it looks like it's going to remain second. This is going to be second down, about 3 to go.
They said the pass was uncatchable. That's the explanation from the field.
So second down, about 3 to go. Sherman again by himself in the backfield. Man in motion, but they're going to call it lateral motion. Sherman throws it, and it's caught, and escaping some tackles and getting down to about the 25-yard line, and then he's shoved out of bounds. That was number 31 on the play.
Sherman did a great job delivering the ball quickly that time because, as I said, I mean, they're just bringing the house every time.
I would assume 31 is Tyler Martin, who's been playing in the backfield all night, and I don't see a 22 on the field tonight. And again, a lot of these Hurricanes players have changed numbers, so it's hard to keep track even of our own guys.
Yeah, talking about defensive pressure, it puts a lot of pressure on announcers when they change the numbers.
So if the families are at home watching, we apologize. We're going to do our best to make sure we get this right as the game progresses. Sherman on first down, drops back under pressure, throws it. He's got Jace Williams, but he drops it. And that looked like 6 points right off the fingertips. He was covered closely, but really looked like a play that Williams could have made one more time. This will bring up 2nd and 10 as they play from the Tarpon 28-yard line.
Well, every time the Canes have gone to an empty backfield set, South Lafourche goes to a 3-man defensive front, but they rush the 3 linebackers. So it's really a 6-man pass rush. They're selling out.
They made a good play. The Hurricanes did 2 plays ago. to just throw that quick little flare to the outside because, like you said, you know, you throw where the pressure's coming from. And when the receiver, Martin, caught the ball, he had a lot of field to work with. Sherman drops back. They rush just 4. He throws it into the end zone, has a man back there. It's off Tyler Martin's hands and incomplete. The coverage by Matthew Richardell, number 4 on the play for South Lafourche. And this is 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
Nice scheme for the pattern. Nice pass. It just, unfortunately, the top and secondary had it covered.
So again, 3rd and 10. You'll notice a different camera angle tonight, and that's because we've kicked Carl out of the press box. He's actually down in the bleachers, thinking we can get you a better vantage point. I can see him chuckling below us down there. As it's 3rd down, again, 5 receivers. Man goes in motion. Sherman drops back, under pressure, throws, he completes. Actually, it's off the fingertips and incomplete as he tried to get it to Kendrick Smith. And again, Sherman slow to get up as he's getting hit with everything but the kitchen sink in that offensive backfield. So 4th and 10.
Yeah, tried to go back to that same outlet receiver with the pass rush, but that time they had that man covered also.
Now you're at the 27-yard line, kind of, again, no man's land because you don't really have a kicking game. A thought I would have here might be to consider a punt. If you can pin them within the 5-yard line, we haven't seen South Lafourche show you anything offensively all night. That may not be the worst thing in the world. But again, you're so deep that if you go for it and don't get it, South Lafourche will still have to prove that they can move the ball. As it looks like they're going to go for it. 5 wide receivers. Sherman drops back, whistles all over the field, and Coach Figaro took a timeout before the ball was snapped. So we'll stop for a minute here. 1:14 to go, first quarter, no score. We'll take a break and have more of your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week after this. And welcome back to the Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week as, again, 4th and 10 for the Hurricanes. Looks like they're going to go for it. 5 receivers. Sherman alone in the backfield.
Empty backfield, 3-man set, and watch the linebackers come.
Sends a man in motion. Here comes the rush. Sherman stands tall, gets the pass off. It's going to be intercepted, but this is going to be a Hurricane first down. Let this guy run for all he can because he shoved the receiver, Martin, to the ground. He can take it all the way back if he wants to, but it's not going to matter. Whistles are going to fly, and this is going to be pass interference against the Tarpons. Flag is down all the way back at the Tarpon 5.
And that's the kind of play that can be a real backbreaker because this is going to give tremendous momentum to South Plaquemines. And it's really going to deflate the Tarpons from South Lafourche.
Because you just took away, I mean, about a 90-yard return. You negate the turnover on downs. All he had to do was stick his hands up and knock the ball away, and they'd have had the ball. Now it's going to be South Plaquemines football, 1st and 10. Never actually did get a signal from the referee. And here it comes, pass interference against South Lafourche. So going the wrong way with the ball as they're trying to spot it.
And the official was a wee bit confused that time. So if I'd be Coach Figaro, I'd watch to see how many yards he steps off.
And it looks like Coach Skanes is all the way out on the field, right at the numbers, waving his hands in disbelief. But, I mean, that might have been the most obvious penalty. I think the NFL replacement referees would have got that one right. So mark it off, 1st down. Ball's going to be at the 14-yard line.
56 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Canes are knocking on the Tarpons' door.
You know, this is the situation where you almost wish maybe you had a field goal kicker for the South Plaquemines team because 3 points might win it tonight with the ineptness we've seen on offense from South Lafourche. You know, the Canes have had their struggles. I mean, like we said, it took a penalty on a 4th down to get them the conversion there, but they're still moving the ball. And, again, they flipped the field completely as they're into the red zone now at the 14. One back, it's Martin behind the quarterback, Sherman, who takes it. He's going to follow Martin into the hole. Gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Maybe a short gain on the play, but not much. This will bring up 2nd down, about 10 yards to go for South Plaquemines.
Sherman is really going to sleep well tonight because he has been taking a pounding.
Even as he comes to the sideline to get the play from the coaching staff, he seems kind of hunched over as he's trying to catch his wind as much as he can. Now, we saw Kendrick Smith play a little quarterback last week. Maybe not a bad idea to stick him back there for a play or two, even if you just use Sherman as a decoy to let him catch his breath. But on second down, Sherman puts a man in motion. He's going to hand it to Ragas, who's taken down right there. Looks like a loss on the play of about 4 or 5. And again, a 3rd and long situation for the Hurricanes. But we've reached the end of the first quarter. So 1 quarter down, no score here. And we'll take a break and come back with more of your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week after this.